Hey guys, it's episode 7, and well, let's talk about a little bit of paint here to start out with. Just taking a look at the painting for the colors and everything, especially for the deck here. And the deck color calls for XF50 and XF9. So XF50 is field blue, Tamiya, and XF9 is flat black, and kind of darkens up the already rather dark blue color there, but that's the way the ships were, at least when they were first put out, I guess, or launched, whatever you want to call it. And but looking at like reference photos and things like that, they quickly got weathered and faded a little bit and things like that. And so I've been trying to kind of play around with kind of starting to do a little bit of weathering almost here, a little bit of painting. So let me go ahead and take the 4 deck house and bridge off, and we'll take a look at the coloring here. So I know this probably looks black for you guys. Let me try to get you a little bit better coloring here, or lighting. And as you can see, it is pretty dark. Now what I did was, if we take a look at the side of the ship there, you can see the contrast. So it is a very, very dark blue, because you're taking already dark blue, mixing in black. And I kind of went over it with one pass of just straight field blue. And so hopefully we can get this in camera. I'm going to try to give you really good lighting here. And you can see some of that weathering that I did, or well, we'll call it weathering, we'll call it shading here. So I set my airbrush on very low PSI. I don't remember what it is. The needle bounces around, so I can't really tell. But very low PSI and highly diluted, field blue XF50. And just started kind of working in the center here just to get my bearings and stuff like that, because a lot of this will be covered up by the the structures. And kind of worked my way a little bit on the outside there. Just started getting some of that fading color. Now you can see the 2 dark stripes. There's sort of non-skid paint pads, whatever they were, that they added into the deck right there, and those are usually a little bit darker, so I kind of tried to paint around those. And so that's the first pass of the color. It definitely lightens it up, but one of the things to take into consideration is where you're going to display your model. This kind of goes for my train stuff too. When you're coloring and painting and weathering and all that kind of stuff, think about the lighting. Take whatever you're working on and put it out on your layout, or put the model in this case. Put it into the same lighting where you're going to have it displayed, because you might have to adjust the brightness of the paint to suit the circumstances. It looks one way if you're sitting out in a bright sunny day looking at your model, and it looks a lot different when you've got it under some LED lights or just your interior lights and stuff like that. So, excuse me, let me get a swig of my coffee here. Just one thing that you want to keep in mind, you don't have to be exact on the coloring. You can adjust it. You can basically do whatever the heck you want, but what I'm trying to do is also kind of start to weather it up, and then kind of think about, where am I going to be displaying this? I'm going to take it out to wherever I finally decide to place this model, and see what it looks like under the everyday lighting, and adjust the the color modulation, let's say, that I'm going to do to account for that. So Anyway, I think we can mark a few things off of our build here. Let's see, let me get that out of the way. Actually, I think I already marked everything off over here that we got from the fore deck house and the bridge. Let's take a look at our photo etch here. Get that up here so you can actually see it. I think I've got everything in place here except for, let's see, these doors. I did get the sort of walk floors or whatever. It's sort of like a grate, you know, that you get in these two gun, whatever you want to call them, whatever they're called. You can see the photo etch in there, so I've got those in, so I just mark that off. That's about it. One other thing I did notice, and I'll go ahead and zoom in here now. After, you know, taking a look at photos for the actual deck, you know, when I was trying to figure out how to color it and everything, I did notice I actually had these doors. You can see the photo etch doors on the lower part of the bridge are now photo etch again. That's sad because I did paint them before, but I had them on backwards. So they come with they come in on two sides. One of them, here's a good example of it, or this is the actual portion of it right there. So let me get that and point it out to you here. So here is the two doors. Come on, focus right there, and you can see that if it's closed, it's flat. The inside of the door has got sort of the ribbing and stuff like that, and I had those doors on basically backwards. I'm having them closed, and so I managed to pop those out and just scrubbed them with a little bit of sanding sticks to prep them for getting repainted again and put all those three on. So that's as far as I got. I think next what we're going to work on, let's see, we still got to do these side railings here. Still got to cut those off and get the photo etch parts on. So I think at least I'll be cutting that next, and then we can start moving on. Once we get past that, we get the main deck house here, and I'm not going to be doing the mast quite yet, but we kind of start putting everything back together here. The ship's going to start coming together pretty quickly here. So let me go ahead, and I think what I'm going to do right now is, since I started doing the painting of the deck, I'm going to go ahead, get these guys spray painted up, and then spray in the deck colors similar to this. I guess I should have painted that beforehand, but maybe I'll get in here with a brush on this side, and you know, so I can kind of be careful. We'll see. All right, let me go do that. We'll see what it looks like. All right, so I've been doing a little painting here, and you can see the decks are still a little wet there, but I went with actually a lighter color on here after taking a look at the colors that I had available. The one that Tamiya says to paint is a little bit of a darker shade of gray. Let me see if I can find it here. I can't remember what it is now. XF 53. Which I have, but it was a little bit too dark. And again, it's I'm thinking where I'm going to be placing this model. So I actually went with a lighter shade of gray for the what do you call it? I guess the vertical portions there. And then the deck, obviously I'd already put it all together, so I couldn't really spray paint. So I mixed up a little bit of field blue with just some dabs of black, flat black, and came up with pretty much the closest color I could there. I just kind of eyeball it. It says, let's see here, Tamiya says that it's 2 parts XF50, which is the field glue, or blue, and 1 part XF1 flat black. But that comes out really, really dark. So I just kind of eyeballed it, taking a look at what I've got in the on the deck already over here. Ooh, that is dark. Anyway, but I had to go in here and a little static grass right there. Hold on. Try to get that static grass off of there. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so I mixed it up. I had to go in with the paintbrush on the upper decks here. Let's see. And you can see it's still wet. I'm going to let it dry. And kind of interesting thing, you always find fun things happening here. I didn't put any, clear coat or anything over the gray, and so when I mixed up the other paints, and I put a little bit of paint retarder in it also, just to give me a little bit more time. So it's going to take a little bit more to dry. And what happened is, wow, I got a lot of static grass over here. I got to clean this up before I get it all over the wet paint. But anyway. It started to pick up a little bit of the gray underneath and sort of mixing. This is kind of like 2 coats or 2 coats of the deck color. But interesting little patterns forming in there with just almost like a little bit of weathering already on the deck right there. So we'll see what it looks like when it's all dried up and I get rid of all this static grass that must have came off of my my little foam sheet here. Alright guys, so I did a little bit more painting here. I didn't do anything on the main hull, but I did take our little, I'm afraid to pick it up. I did take our little radar, actually what is it? It's a fire control, come in, focus. Fire control, whatever radar, let's just call it that. I did spray that up a little bit more to match the lighter color that I was using for the sides of the, all the vertical structures and stuff like that. And our decks did dry out. You can see there's a little sheen to them still. I'm going to go over and use the airbrush and kind of do my highlighting on there, but for now I think that's it. Let's put this thing together. I'm gonna try to put the radar on. Actually, I don't know. It's so delicate. I'm afraid to. So if I put it on there, I really need to glue it on. But there you go. I'm afraid to hold this. See, it's I definitely got to glue it on without hopefully breaking anything off of it before I mess with it here. I'm going to leave it alone over there. All right. Anyway, that's where we are right now, and you can see the difference in the tone between the base of the ship here and what the other elements are going to look like. One other thing I was looking at, I think I'm going to actually leave the plastic portion of the railing here, because the photo etch really only gets the little detail right here along the bottom, where you can see the sort of, it's supposed to be holes so water drains through. But if you look on the inside has got there we go, it's got some nice detail in there that the photo etch does not. And I think with a little bit of weathering right here, thing would focus. Once we weather this up, we can darken up those spots underneath and make it look like it's you know, see-through. So yeah, I'm done. I'm done spray painting enough stuff for today, and see you in the next part then. Take care, guys.